Transform light into art with Authentic Neon by Chris Ortiz. SLOC Musical Theater President John Maglino previews their 98th season. And catch a performance from Tops of Trees. It's all ahead on this episode of AHA, A House for Arts.
Funding for AHA has been provided by your contribution and by contributions to the WMHT Venture Fund. Contributors include the Leo Cox Beach Philanthropic Foundation, Chet and Karen Alpelka, Robert and Doris Fisher-Melisardi, and the Robeson Family Foundation.
At M&T Bank, we understand that the vitality of our communities is crucial to our continued success. That's why we take an active role in our community. M&T Bank is pleased to support WMHT programming that highlights the arts, and we invite you to do the same.
I'm Matt Rogowitz, and this is AHA, a house for arts, a place for all things creative. Chris Ortiz creates beautiful, authentic neon works of art out of his home in Roxbury, New York. Now, this is not your LED mass-produced plastic neon. This is the real deal. Check it out.
I'm a neon artist, so I bend glass and I fill it with a noble gas inside of it. I like to make things that are reminiscent of Aztec and Mexican indigenous cultures, and I like to take inspiration from the area around me here in the Catskills, so bees and trees. And I just try to make as many things that make me happy, and I hope that other people will enjoy it as well. All the neon I make is real and authentic, with glass and fire and noble gas. The current trend that is happening right now is plastic LED strips are taking over the neon name. Authentic neon, it's very earth-friendly and made from everything around us, and is infinitely recyclable. When applying for colleges, the School of the Art Institute was one that accepted me and offered a small scholarship, so it made it easier to make that decision. And one of the things that really pulled me in was the fact that they had a neon class, and I pursued that. And the moment I tried it, I came across this new perspective of making art where everything I tried to make, I'd get into my head, but where neon, a lot of it becomes your feelings, the outside temperature, the inside temperature, the glass itself. It just took a lot of the inside anxiety of my mind of like trying to make everything perfect and accepting a bits of the imperfection as I'm trying to accomplish the goal that I'm making. Bounce house blower, propane. There it goes. Authentic neon has as much science into it as much as there is art. The artistry is in the forming of the glass. I like to describe it as it turns into a spaghetti noodle. And then the moment you take it out of the fire, you've got a few seconds before it gets all stiff again, and then you have to also do it in a way to where you're not heating it and cooling it off enough because it can shatter at any moment. Depending on what your pattern is, sometimes you start in the middle, sometimes you start on step 3 instead of step 1, so because sometimes as you're bending, you're gonna run into yourself. The other important thing too when you're bending is to keep in mind of the diameter on the inside, because again, gravity is pulling down. So you have a little blow hose and you just push a little puff of air inside, and that way it just expands the glass on the inside. The science part of it is going to be the whole bombardment process, the part of electrifying the atoms on the inside. And what that does is it sucks out all of the impurities, all of the air out of it, and it superheats it to vaporize everything on the inside. So it's a sterile, complete vacuum like it would be in space. I fill it with a noble gas inside of it, and then once that happens, you seal it off, and then you attach a transformer and you zap some electricity into it. And the electricity is what will get the molecules inside to vibrate and react and start to create the glow from the inside. So with clear glass, you can put neon, argon, helium, krypton, and xenon. Neon will always be red. If you put argon, it'll be a faint purple, but with a drop of mercury, you get a wonderful, vibrant blue. So much of it is your understanding of like gravity, the technique, the glass, the fire, but then the end result is this amazing natural glow, the most authentic version of light that you can accomplish. The closest thing you can get to the sun or a campfire, all of those photons and the lights that naturally come from a reaction, neon is the closest thing you can get to it. Neon light is essentially the aurora borealis within a stick of glass. It's our ability to harness the northern lights for ourselves. A lot of the items that I make are based in indigenous motifs from ancient Mexico. Growing up, you don't really hear much about indigenous cultures, especially in Mexico. A lot of that was kind of suppressed in the process of assimilation. I found a little book that just showed a lot of indigenous symbols and motifs, and I've just been in love with that book ever since and been wanting to grab every single item and make them into neon, because each of them I see them as they were all vibrant at one point. They were all physically available, and now they were just in a tiny book, forgotten. It's my hope that I can bring them back to life and put them in a new light, and that way other people can experience them.
SLOC Musical Theater, otherwise known as the Schenectady Light Opera Company, is gearing up for its 98th season. Jade Warwick sat down with SLOC's president, John Miglino, to learn more about his journey from actor to executive and to get a preview of what's coming up this season.
Hey, John, welcome to House for Arts today.
Hi, Jade. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm super excited to talk about SLOC.
Yeah.
And what does SLOC stand for before we even begin?
Schenectady Light Opera Company. It's a very old-fashioned term.
There you go. And it is from 1926,
1926,
right?
yeah.
So what is SLOC and how did it begin?
Yeah, so we're now known as SLOC Musical Theater. Light opera is kind of a term that's like comedic opera that was used kind of at the turn of the century and a long time ago. So SLOC Musical Theater provides theater opportunities for people around the capital region. Specifically, we operate out of Schenectady off of Franklin Street. We've been around since 1926, and I think what makes us stand out a little bit, because there's tons of community theater in our area. We're very blessed with the amount of talent and whatnot. What helps us stand out, I think, is the volunteer aspect. We are entirely run by volunteers, from the board of directors to our leadership, anybody that performs in the show, the directors. It's a great volunteer opportunity, so you know that the people that are a part of it are super passionate about it. And we came about around the same time as Proctor's and Schenectady Civic Theater, and I like to think that organizations like ours kind of laid the groundwork for community theater in the area. And it's because of the volunteers and their passion that that kind of persevered through world events like World War II we were around for, and as recent as the COVID pandemic. To be able to recover from things like that, you really need to have people that are passionate about it, and we're very blessed to have been around as long as we have. We're going into our 98th season.
Wow, yeah. 98 years old.
Yeah, I know.
And I know you've been with SLOC. So I think you started off on the marketing committee, and now you're the president of SLOC.
Yeah,
so how did that journey?
So I started out actually as a performer. I was in my early 30s and kind of trying to find some sort of fulfillment in my life, to find myself a little bit. I was single, and I wanted something a little bit different. And my sister, Christine, really started encouraging me. She said, "I think musical theater's for you." My sister's been involved in theater for years. She's been with SLOC since the turn of the century. which sounds like a really old-fashioned sentence at this point. I went into an audition for the first time, and I am not what anybody would call the songbird of a generation. But apparently I did enough that I was cast in an ensemble role. The rest is history. Like, I fell instantly in love with the idea of community theater, and with SLOC specifically. Just the camaraderie between the cast, the support we got from the board. And you mentioned the marketing committee. My profession is graphic design. After I did auditions and did a couple of shows, I started dabbling in, our social media and helping out with what can we do to promote our shows from there. Along the way somewhere, I fell in love with my wife. We met on while we were doing the production of Curtains in 2018. And then shortly after that, I was tapped. I must have done something right, because they wanted me to, for some reason, be on the board of directors. And I'm like, well, that's a good way to give back. I can see how this place operates and where we can have improvements. So I joined the board in 2021, and then was elected vice president in 2022, served 2 terms, and was just
now
recently
you're president, yeah.
just kind of climbed the ladder unexpectedly. I'm honestly very humbled. I didn't think I would be at this point, but it's really just like a privilege to be able to serve the community and to do anything that I can to help out.
Yeah, and it shows you care,
Yeah.
It shows you care and you have the passion there. So what type of productions and shows does SLOC put on?
Oh gosh, we primarily we do musical theater. So we kind of rebranded a while back to SLOC Musical Theater, but we do occasionally do some plays. We did the complete works of William Shakespeare Abridged a couple summers ago, and this season we're doing kind of a hybrid. It's Peter and the Starcatcher. It's the tale of the origins of Peter Pan, and it's a play with music. So it's not like a full all-out musical, but it's kind of like a hybrid type of thing. But primarily we do focus on musicals.
And how do you find folks to direct and put on these musicals?
Right, so we have an amazing artistic director, Michael Camello, who's been involved with our organization for years. He assembles a team each year of a show selection committee. It's made up of a diverse group of members from not just SLOC, but sometimes from the community, different backgrounds, different experiences. And they get together and they try to figure out, hey, what's going to work for a season? They put out a call for directors in the area to submit. They can submit as many shows as they want. And then they kind of pick from there. But there's just so many variables that come into selecting a season, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
We usually aim to have something a little modern, like we're doing School of Rock and Mean Girls high school version this year. And then you want something classic for some of the older crowds. So we're doing Pippin is closing out our season. And then one that tells a story that people may not have heard of before, but has an important message, like Falsettos, which talks about sensitive topics around LGBTQAI rights and the AIDS crisis. And the exciting thing about this season is it's entirely consists of new directors that are all female.
Wow,
So,
okay.
step in the right direction.
That's great. Definitely excited for that. So I know you do a lot of community-based educational workshops and programming. So what does that look like to a newcomer? How do they get involved?
Yeah, so one of the productions that we do every season for past decade or so is our youth production. It's a high school production. The cast is entirely made of high school students. And Mean Girls, we just had auditions about a month or so ago, and 100 local kids came and auditioned. Wow. And the talent in the capital region is absolutely outstanding. It was really, really tough from what I've heard to really narrow it down. But aside from that, one thing we started implementing last year was our youth production assistant program. We've discovered that there are a lot of kids that love musical theater, but they're not really the stage type, but they want to be involved in some way. They just don't want the spotlight on them, believe it or not. And so we have people assisting with directing, with lighting, with sound, with makeup, stuff like that. So they get the opportunity to do that. As far as workshops go, each year we do a series of different workshops. So this year it's not all set in stone, but we'll usually do something focused on choreography or how to prepare for an audition, how to prepare musically versus acting for an audition, stuff like that. And it's not always open to just youth, though we want to, put a lot of our focus towards that, but it's open for adults as well. Last year, we actually had a workshop with Gabby Pizzolo, who, if you don't know her, she was in Matilda on Broadway, Fun Home on Broadway, 2 of the shows that we did last season. She actually has a recurring role now on the show Stranger Things as Susie, which is Dustin's girlfriend, if you're familiar with the show.
I do know. I am
It's
a
Gabby
big stranger.
Pizzolo. She's a SLOC alum. Used to be on our stage, and she was gracious enough to come and run a acting workshop and give some tips to our cast of Fun Home and some of the other kids from last season. So that was really special. So we're always looking to tap into our alumni and anybody else that can help educate and promote the community theater.
That's amazing, and I do like how you mentioned, how do you do an audition if you don't know? Like, those to me, like,
I'm still trying to figure that out. I got to go to one of these workshops.
Right? But the career building is so important because you don't know unless you know, and it's not always accessible to get that high knowledge education,
for
so
sure.
It's really great that you guys are providing that.
Yeah, we're trying to do it because, there's a lot of passion for it, and they got to go somewhere, get a foot in the door and see where you go. Because if someone like Gabby can start from Schenectady, New York on our stage and become this relatively well-known actress now, that means anybody can.
Exactly. All right, so what's some of your upcoming productions and shows that we should look forward to? What's your new season like?
Yeah, so super exciting season. I already mentioned it, but I'll get into specifics. School of Rock is our first show. It opens in a couple weeks. I got to see a little bit of a sneak preview last week, a little unpolished version, but it is absolutely outstanding. It also has a lot of kids in it. They're the students. If you're familiar with the movie School of Rock, the musical version, I find is even better. I think it's a lot of fun. And then we move into our Mean Girls high school version in November, which we're super excited about, followed by Falsettos in January, Peter and the Starcatcher in March, and we close out our season with Pippin in May. Wow. And in between there, we usually have fundraising events and other things that kind of develop as the season goes on. There's always something going on at SLOC.
Always staying busy. Always staying busy. Well, thank you, John, for stopping by today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you too.
Please welcome Tops of Trees.
We left this city, oh, we left that grind. Yeah, we went to the mountains, find some peace of mind. Yeah, we left some money for a little more time. Yeah, we left those bright lights so we could touch the sky. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. We left that concrete, oh, a little more green. Yeah, we left that high rise so we could see the tops of trees. Well, I sure miss the ocean, but I love now the pleasant lake. Sit around the campfire all night, just laughing and drinking till the morning breaks. 'Cause everybody knows it's alright. Everybody knows it's alright. Don't you know it's alright? Don't you know it's alright? Everyone knows now that it's alright. you can laugh now. Say we're living in the sticks. You can keep your Broadway in Madison, y'all, 'cause we got the 46. If you need some fresh air and you're ready to unwind, there the trailhead is waiting for you. If you're ready to make that climb, 'cause everybody knows it's alright. Everybody knows it's alright. Everybody knows it's alright. Don't you know it's alright? Don't you know it's alright? Don't you know it's alright? Oh yeah, alright, alright now. I say alright. Oh yeah. Everyone know now it's alright. Everyone know now it's alright. See her moving, she got mad love. See her moving, she got mad love. See her grooving, she got mad love. Can you see her on the street, greeting everyone she meet? Girl got nothing but love. Yeah, she always rises above. See her moving. She got mad love. Everybody knows she's listening. Find the songs we've been missing. 'Cause everybody tells me so. Everybody keep me moving. See her moving, she got mad love. See her moving, she got mad love. See her grooving, she got mad love. See the light now in her eyes, got the power to hypnotize. Girls proud and she's strong, singing loud freedom song. See her moving, she got mad love. Everybody knows she's listening. Find the songs we've been missing. 'Cause everybody tells me so. Everybody tells me so. See her moving, she got mad love. See her moving, she got mad love. Yeah, that girl's filled with light, but she won't run from a fight. No, she's always standing tall for the ones who feeling small. She's courageous and she's brave, but let love now lead the way. Can't you hear her sing a song? Won't you all now sing along? See her moving, she got mad love.
I have mad love for all of you who tuned in tonight to watch AHA. Thank you. For more arts, visit wmht.org/aha and be sure to connect with us on social. I'm Matt Rogowitz. Thanks for watching.
Funding for AHA has been provided by your contribution and by contributions to the WMHT Venture Fund. Contributors include the Leo Cox Beach Philanthropic Foundation, Chet and Karen Alpelka, Robert and Doris Fisher-Melisardi, and the Robeson Family Foundation.
At M&T Bank, we understand that the vitality of our communities is crucial to our continued success. That's why we take an active role in our community. M&T Bank is pleased to support WMHT programming that highlights the arts, and we invite you to do the same.